All right, cool. I love it. Okay, so today I'm gonna just keep this pretty short, but I do want to go over something with you guys. So just so you know, I'm gonna just because it's requested, I'm gonna record these meetings, but I'm going to cut out the parts where you guys talk. So that way you can feel free to share anything you'd like, and no, I'm not gonna publish it anywhere.
Okay.
And then what I'm probably gonna do is I'm going to just cut the part where I talk about this part, this little section, um, cut that up and then put it in the library for members who miss a call. Because we have about 4 to 5 people who email me today saying, "Hey, I have to miss a call. Do you have a recording of it? I want to watch it. I want to be part of it." And so I'll just record these parts, and so that way, when you see the little thing that says recording on the top, you don't like, you know, get like nervous or anything like that. Because I know sometimes it's hard to share stuff when you know it's recorded. But I will not share those type of things. So let me share my screen really quick. This is the thing that I've been working on myself personally for the last year. All right, let me share my iPad. Are you kidding me? Tim, I'm having more tech difficulties. Today is just tech day, apparently. It's like Monday, and they're like, it's just the tech gods are not like on my side. All right, there we go. Nice. You see my white screen, my
Yep.
iPad? Awesome. So, first off, just because I have to do this for myself, I always have to write keep it simple or keep it stupid simple. On the top of everything I do for my notes. So I'm going to do that just so you guys have that opportunity too. Now that has absolutely nothing to do with the topic I'm going over. That's just my own personal thing. Every time I start brainstorming or coming up with strategies or outlining things, I on the very top of that page I say keep it stupid simple, because I tend to overcomplicate things like a motherfucker. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So let me pull up this here. So today I want to talk about a little bit resistance. And I've been really learning about this. I've been reading tons of books, talking to people about it, talking to you guys about it, listening to everybody's stories. And one of the cool things I'm getting out of being in this type of a program where I get to hear people talk about the problems that they have, that I'm starting to see some common resistance threads come up. And so and then I started to see it in myself as well. So here's where I really felt a connection with it is Stephen Pressfield. He's an author of something called The War of Art and Turning Pro and a couple other books. He talks about, yes, the reason why this is happening is because we have people that are amateurs, amateur and pros. And these are mindsets. These are the the different way that we approach life and the way we do it. Now, I'm gonna just really briefly post down what they mean or what they are. So an amateur is someone who plays for fun. Basically, they're just doing this for fun. They like doing it. They're having fun. This is a hobby or an avocation. These people like to play for keep. So what that means really is they're in it for the long game. I'm building something. I'm dedicated to the growth and that this is going to be the thing that's going to set us free financially in my business and my purpose and all that stuff. So there's playing for keep and there's playing for fun. These people have a vocation. Now I'm going to tie this all up in a second. I'm just kind of giving you a quick outline. So this is going to be part-time. Apparently my gardeners are here. Sorry if it gets loud. These are weekend warriors. They just get all their work done in a really quick sprint. There's 7 days a week. And this person shows up when they feel like it. And they show up no matter what. Now, what's interesting about this idea is that the amateur is where most people default to. And here's what happens. When you're an amateur, you have the least amount of resistance. And when you're a pro, you are literally at war with resistance. Resistance is basically the force that's trying to make you not pro. So the second you're like, hey, I need to think for, like, I'm just starting this new thing called Thinking Time. I'm reading this book called The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham. He's brilliant, by the way. If you ever get a chance to read his books or see him talk, he was the first person I watched talk about accounting that made me cry because he was such a good speaker. He's like a lovely, like an older gentleman that's just really nice to listen to, has a great story, and just you can tell he has a pure of heart. And I saw him speak about 10 years ago at Tony Robbins Business Mastery, and he just blew me away. And so he wrote a new book called The Road Less Stupid. Tim, this is one of the books that Garrett recommended for me on our hot seat call, and it's amazing. And basically, the whole book is about something called Thinking Time. Thinking time is just an hour, a 45-minute time block where you designate to think about a current problem you're having, and then there's special questions you ask yourself during this time. Now, here's the thing: a pro can set up a thinking time and get there without any problem. A pro can sit down and write 10 emails. A pro can go down and do all their marketing. A pro can have their meetings. A amateur is someone who goes, oh, well, it's 11. How about I do something else? How about I go get something out of the fridge? How about I go find something else to do? What if I make a new project that distracts me from the project I need to do? So the amateur is always being pulled away from the pro activities. And the hardest thing to do is just become pro. So there's full books on this, on how to become a pro. And it's not easy. It's like the hardest thing in the world. But the thing is that there's an amateur result and there's pro results. So in my head, I'm like, I want pro results. I want to be a pro. So how do we become a pro? A really good writer, I can't remember exactly who, but I just remember the quote, said, it's not, there's no such thing as writer's block. The hardest part is just sitting down. Like sitting down at your computer to actually do the thing. Doing the thing is not even that hard. It's just getting yourself there. So there's always going to be these forces trying to pull us away from that. And just remember, whenever you start to wonder like about your results, your progress, think back and say, hey, am I in amateur mode or am I in pro mode? Like, what am I at? What am I doing right now? And if you're in amateur mode, that's okay. Like, we all hit that, but just don't get mad at yourself for not having the results that you want, because you can't have pro results if you're being an amateur. And if you're getting good results, I want you to look back and go, what am I doing differently? My most profitable month I've ever had, I was on full activation of pro mode. I woke up at 7. I did everything. Everything was perfectly scheduled in my calendar. Everything was blocked off. I had thinking time. I had creation time. I had sales time. I had marketing time. All these things were perfectly blocked off. I was just hitting, and I just kept going and pushing. And then I got a whole bunch of sales, and then I got comfortable, and then I kind of slowed down my pro time, and I just kind of squeezed it in when I could. Then I had to regain and recalibrate. So like it's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be trends that happen. My encouragement to you is that just remember that there are these two different levels of time that you're spending, pro and amateur. So make sure you're hitting those the best you can. And as long as you keep it simple, you try to give yourself a time. So a quick tip, this is my last thing, then I'll stop this. My quick tip is to schedule pro time. That's it. I call it deep work. I actually have it on my calendar, and I use something called the Door app. I know, Tim, you probably use that too, where I actually schedule time. I call it deep work, and that's my pro time. I have to schedule it in my damn calendar on my phone, so no one can block any time off there. And that's the time where I have to come in, sit down, and then go to work. And if you can kind of keep that scheduled time, because when you think about any real high-level professional, they have a schedule, like it's so sexy to think about like not having not having a real schedule, not showing up at certain times, but there's something really to using that pro time, that deep work time, to getting your stuff done. So that's what I want to chat about. And then the next part, it's going to be really simple, is going to be the one thing. The one thing, there's a book called The One Thing, and it's a really brilliant book that talks about how there's dominoes in your world. And I know in Warrior we talk about that called the door, but this book they call it The One Thing, and some other people call it the domino. Everybody has a different thing, a different version of it, but it's really simple. There's one thing that you need to do to accomplish the other things that you want to do. So you can do a whole bunch of little things, or you can do the one thing that's going to take care of everything else. So this is an important activity that's going to move the needle in your progress for you. It's not like random stuff. The one thing isn't send an email. The one thing isn't to write a post and to go live. The one thing is going to be a bigger logical action that can actually move the next step to your marketing, to your business, to your growth. So what I'd like you to do is spend a couple seconds to think about what your one thing is today for this week. Now, if you don't accomplish it, that's okay.